What do you think about Jaguar's new marketing scheme? Their new videos? What have you seen there? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But when we look at some of their statistics, we know already that Jaguar has been on the downslide for weeks, months, years. You know, Tata Motors took it over and they peaked a few short years ago. And then it's been a downhill slide ever since. Many argue it was the competitiveness of the brand or lack thereof, stale product lines, reliability challenges, and the association with Jaguar Land Rover that literally flushed them. I personally owned an F-Type, and I think it was one of the best sports cars on the planet. So I still sit here scratching my head as how did that car not get more fanfare? How did that car brand not get more love? I've also done reviews on the F-Pace, and I think that is a wonderful little SUV. I love it. The E-Pace, I've driven a few of those, and they're fun too. So how did it go so wrong? Well, we look at statistics here by Cox Automotive, and we look at the industry average days supply being around 85 days supply. Well, how do you put that in perspective? Where's the reference point? Well, let's just say brands like Toyota and Honda are down around 35 days supply. So in other words, if you stop production today, they'll run out in about a month's time. Okay, how about brands like Audi? 106 days supply. GMC, 93. How about Dodge? And we know Stellantis products were struggling. They've had some of the worst inventory challenges or too much inventory sitting on a lot of these car lots. And those are sitting. Dodge products, we're seeing at 129 days, Ram at 133 days. They were double the industry average of 85. But even Mercedes-Benz, we know they've been struggling for sales, but they're sitting at 106. So again, we're dealing with manufacturers that are largely about about 1.5 times the industry average. Okay, what brings it down are the popular Toyotas and Hondas and Mazdas, and then the slower sellers from Stellantis are typically on the other end of the scale. But there's an outlier, and it's Jaguar. And it's sad because it's a very, very interesting brand that has huge potential. It has an absolutely immense motorsport heritage. Classics. You think of some of the old classics from many, many moons ago, and it makes you wonder, it scratches your head. Could you imagine a brand like Porsche, like Ferrari, absolutely going under because of lack of popularity? That would be tragic. Well, this is almost on the same space. How did Jaguar get to this point? And what do you think of this new marketing campaign? But with that said, I've taken a look at some statistics with car gurus, and we're seeing brand new 23s all over the country. We're seeing brand new 24s all over the country. There's lots of inventory left. Now, it's not a big number because it's a niche brand. You're not going to see those tens of thousands of units like you're seeing Jeep. But you're seeing a number of vehicles, brand new, listed all over the nation that aren't selling, and they've been there for 500, 750, over 1,000 days. In other words, 1,000 days, they've gone through 3 birthdays already. These vehicles have been sitting too long. Nobody's buying them. The F-Type, one of the best sports cars known to personkind, certainly in that price range, and they're not selling. We have a local car lot here that's had a nice blue one here sitting there for quite some time. It's still sitting there. Nobody's buying it. No matter how hard they incentivize these products, it just feels like the writing was been on the wall. And with the declining sales dropping drastically, I think most people that open their eyes and look and listen and put their ears to the train tracks realize, is that a big risk? Is that a big gamble? Well, the big gamble was Jaguar when they said, you know what, they're canceling all of their internal combustion vehicles, and they're going on a little bit of a hiatus here this year. They've decided to basically stop production altogether. And while, yes, you can still go out there and find some, if you're lucky enough, you might be able to get a special order F-Type or F-Pace. The fact remains is there's fewer and far between, and they're closing the doors on that toot suite if they haven't already. So you're able to go out there, find yourself some great brand new old stock, F-Paces, F-Types, E-Paces, even I-Pace, which is their pure electric vehicle, and those are still scattered throughout the country. Yes, you can still find them, but unfortunately, the day supply is at least double, triple what the industry average is currently today. And that's with a relatively small inventory level. But what do you all think there? I mean, with this marketing campaign, it seems like they've really stretched. They've really gone out there. And where a lot of people see the shifting and the changing and the tides and the winds, there's no question whether you love the style or you love the design, but it feels very much like a new marketing campaign for something you're finding from some luxury brand coming out of Italy, or some new luxury car, niche luxury car that you're getting out of, some other kind of one-off manufacturer, or you're getting a new type of perfume, or something else that's very luxury, speaks to the luxury brands. But yet, it really does rub a lot of people. Some love it, some not so much. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the whole point is what's been happening hasn't been working. What Jaguar has been promising to do is stop production of all their internal combustion engines, and this year was the year that they were doing that. And then the idea was transition, take a small hiatus, and transition right to a pure electric vehicle type space. And certainly they have some models waiting in the line, some GT coupe vehicles or GTs. And there's already talk about the first model that they're expecting to come out, pure EV. I mean, aside from the I-Pace, of course, which is electric vehicle as well. But that's been out for a while, and that feels quite stale and largely obsolete. So there's a whole new platform, a whole new chassis design and electronics and tech associated with this whole new regeneration or new generation of electric vehicles by Jaguar. But how do you get people in the door? What they've been doing hasn't been working. I mean, I get all kinds of notes from the JLR group sending me weekly, loyalty, incentives, discounts, big reductions on their pricing, on their MSRP, big reductions on the interest rates, big reductions. I get calls, cold calls. I get all kinds of communication via email. And that's just a sign. It's not that they're not doing their work. They're certainly reaching out, trying to bring in clientele. So what's going on? And why are these sales literally falling off a cliff? What's going on at Jaguar? Well, there's a whole list of reasons why they could be falling. Some of it's reliability, reputation, technology. They were a little obsolete with all the new manufacturers doing all kinds of things. And Jaguar has had some somewhat outdated product lines. It's becoming more clear why they weren't succeeding. However, what are your thoughts about all of this new marketing campaign? I think it's quite interesting. Whether you love it, whether you don't love it, I think we know that Jaguar had to do something. They had to do something to stir it up. Because all they do is they wave their banner and they'll holler, hey, look at us, look at us. But nobody's looking over there. Nobody's shopping there. You go to their car lots and there's nobody ever looking for cars. Very seldom are you getting people out test driving new Jaguars, and it makes you wonder how they've kept the lights on for so long. So, I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, but realistically, maybe this is what the doctor ordered for Jaguar. Maybe they have to stir up the wasp nest. Maybe they want to create all kinds of controversy. Maybe they want to make all this noise. Maybe they want to bring more eyes to the brand. And there's no better way than bringing all kinds of controversial visual images like you're seeing here. There's no way by not changing your branding name and title that you're not going to have an impact. Clearly. Have you seen the new descriptor, the new logo? Even that has changed. I mean, some people would say they went away from the kitty cat, and that is an absolute nonsense. But there's marketing geniuses hiding behind the works there, and you've got to think, okay, we're gonna modernize the look. We're gonna modernize the script. We're gonna modernize the overall idea and ideology of the brand. We're gonna modernize. And we're no longer going to try to sell to the conventional demographic, which is your latter middle age. And clearly that's the demographic they were targeting. Originally, that's always been the typical person buying most Jaguars. But things have changed. And now a lot of younger buyers are coming out with money. They have the money to spend. And so how do you appeal to the younger buyer and bring them in to look at something with a conventional, older, more conservative styling approach? Well, you have to do something flashy, and you have to bring people in the door with all kinds of controversy, get people talking, get people whispering about what's going on. So yes, we're seeing Jaguar sales fall off a literal cliff. And we've seen them even take a hiatus. I mean, by all accounts, you could almost say that the company is bankrupt. Would you say Jaguar is bankrupt at this point? Tata Motors, JLR Group? things are rough around the edges, but yet Range Rovers have a new fresh. They've collaborated with BMW and they've got some new drivetrains and some new technology and some pretty fresh looking vehicles. So what about Jaguar? How did they fall through the mix? Well, I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. Do you think Jaguar actually has a future? Do you think there's a potential? Do you think this latest controversial marketing campaign and scheme is just what the doctor ordered for the brand? Or do you think it's just way too much and they're literally headed for bankruptcy? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop that line down below. I'd love to hear it. As well, don't forget to check right there what's going on with the Merket and GM. There's some big news. Definitely want to check that out. Hope to see each and every one on the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.